So if you drive to the North Shore from Honolulu, great place to stop. These orange rooftops down here. That's the Dole Plantation Visitor Center. You can get out there and stretch your legs and have some delicious pineapple flavored ice cream. Really tasty. Also a lot of gardens there you can stroll through. And a big pineapple shaped garden maze you can see right down there.
Wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find.
But if nothing else, get some of that pineapple ice cream. It's so good. So the path we just flew from the North Shore towards Pearl Harbor up ahead is the same direction the Japanese attack came from during the attack on Pearl Harbor. Their first target was this airport right up ahead here. At the time it was called Wheeler Army Air Corps Base. And there were tons of U.S. fighters and bombers down there lined up wingtip to wingtip on the ramp. The Japanese strategy was to take out as many of those aircraft as they could before they were able to get airborne. It was a very effective strategy. Only 2 aircraft were able to take off after the attack. Today it's a Army helicopter base. You see a lot of Army helicopters down there, Apaches and Chinooks and Blackhawks. The town over to your right is called Schofield Barracks, a huge military town where all the military personnel in the area live. Apparently there's a lot of evidence still visible today at this airport of the attack. There's bomb craters that have never been filled and bullet holes in hangars. I'm going to talk to Honolulu Approach real quick. We'll get permission to enter the airspace. We'll fly over Pearl Harbor over here. These are all apple banana farms down here, this bushy looking crop. Alright guys, we got permission to enter Honolulu's airspace, so we're going to fly over Pearl Harbor up ahead. You can see the one entrance to the harbor on the shore, and then you've got the East Lock, Ford Island, the middle lock and the west lock over to the right. The middle lock straight ahead of us here is a naval repair station. So all those ships are in various stages or need of repair. Some of them will get repaired and returned to service. If the repairs are too great or the ship's getting too old, we'll go off to a Navy graveyard and get recycled for the metal. So Ford Island over here in the middle of the east lock is the primary target for the attack on Pearl Harbor. It all started a little before 8 a.m. local Hawaiian time, December 7th, 1941. It lasted about an hour. We had ships anchored on all sides of Ford Island over here. Got a little bit lucky, our 3 aircraft carriers were out at sea that day doing exercises. You'll be able to see a couple of the wrecks that were never raised here in just a moment. The first one's going to be the USS Utah. You can see this little white dock just sticking off the island over here on our side. Just off of that white dock is the Utah. 58 sailors lost their life when the Utah sank. 54 remain on board to this day. And that white dock is a memorial to those that lost their life here. Also still leaking oil to this day, almost 82 years later. It'll come into view down low on the right side here in a second. We'll do a turn in a moment and give the left side a view as well. Directly on the other side of the island, that big battleship is the USS Missouri, also known as Big Mo. It's a museum today. You can go on board. It's also where the peace treaty was signed by the Japanese to end World War II for the United States. Directly in front of the USS Missouri is the USS Arizona with that big white memorial over top. So the Arizonas were the largest loss of life occurred. 1,107 sailors lost their life when the Arizona sank. Almost half of the total loss of life in the attack. Armor-piercing bombs struck the magazine room, the munitions hold of the Arizona, resulting in a really large explosion. And the Arizona sank very rapidly. Kind of interesting symbology. You have the USS Arizona where World War II began for the United States, and directly behind it the USS Missouri where the war ended for the United States. Give the left side a view of the USS Utah. The Arizona is also still leaking oil to this day, about 6 to 8 quarts a day, and